Receiving answered prayers from God is spiritual before it is physical. It is intangible before it is tangible, pristine before it is palpable. We often wonder what role we can play or how we can help God in bringing our desires and sometimes dire needs to pass. That question can yield a variety of possible answers, but today, Chavae and I discuss one way of co-creating with divine energy, and that is harnessing our own. Let's explore how tending to our own energy systems can help us connect with God and ultimately receive God's blessings. If you're not familiar with the chakra system, you may write it off as one of those hippy-dippy or airy-fairy concepts that other people subscribe to. Keep listening, though, because we'll put you on game, introduce you to chakras, talk through what they are, and show you how they can apply to you too. If you do have some level of understanding, but don't really know too much about each chakra or how they work, you're also in the right place. Welcome to Even in the Small Things, a place for believers and non-believers alike to meet, see, feel, and understand God. This podcast is here to help us realize how God is a part of everything, especially the small things. I'm your host, Jewelle. Join me in conversation to learn how I, along with some of my friends, mix the word with the woo to help us navigate parenthood, entrepreneurship, and Black womanhood. Whether you're pursuing creative passions or conscious parenthood, you will gain practical tools to help you discover the divine in everyday life. May this be a blessing unto you. Hey girl, welcome to Even in the Small Things. I am so happy to have you here with me. For my listener who I have here in the house, the amazing, the wonderful Chavae. She is a self-proclaimed and community famed, spiritual architect.
I know that's right. Ready.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Baby, let me write your intro.
Okay,
Wherever you go. All good. I'm gonna say it again because you know it sounded good. You ready?
Yes,
A
girl.
self-proclaimed.
Big friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna big up my girl, all right? Okay. A self-proclaimed and community famed spiritual architect that designs and builds transformational experiences for women to heal. She is a birth and wellness educator and an expert in the body-mind connection. But beyond that, Jazzy is my friend, okay?
Girl.
Yes. Dang, like we have so much in common, just like being Jamaican,
Yes.
being raised SDA, being raised in New York. I can't say NYC. I would love to give you the credit Newburgh, but I can't.
Yeah, no. No 6-0 here.
But beyond that, the list goes on, and I'm so happy to have you here as my first guest. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Anytime. You know me love you long time.
Yes, likewise, sis. Today's sacred text comes from, once again, the good book, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19, which says, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own." So I'm going to just get right into the juice and come out and ask you a two-part question.
Yes.
First part is, do you believe in co-creation? And the second part is, what does co-creating mean to you? What does co-creating with God mean to you as a Black woman?
Okay. So yes, I do believe in co-creation. From the celestial plane to us co-creating this experience now, very much so as above, so below. And for me, I believe that co-creation starts with obedience. And I think obedience starts, or like the I don't know if it's a predecessor is the word I want to use, but to that is being able to receive what you're supposed to do. Because I can co-create something with you and it not be in alignment with your vision. So I think for me as a Black woman co-creating with the Most High, with my spirit team, is first like getting still and listening and really feeling into, okay, like what am I supposed to be doing, and getting my ego, my mind out of the way, getting those opinions out of the way, and then saying, okay, like I'm going to trust this vision that I cannot fully see or cannot fully comprehend, and I'm going to obey the directions that I receive. For me, I receive directions in the sense of like, I'm a splenic projector, so I literally get like splenic hits and just these gut feelings of things. And so that's kind of how I co-create, is just, all right, like, what am I supposed to do? And pray for discernment. Like,
Yeah.
please let this be right. Like, let my
Mm,
interpretation of the message be right. And then
mhm.
I don't know if it's the Jamaican in me. I don't know if it's the Aries in me. I don't know if it's the Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising in me, where I just get going and just start doing the work, like
Yeah.
boots
I
to
will say that
ground.
about you, girl. And it's interesting because I never envisioned that to be your answer, right? Like, I
Uh-huh.
feel like the playful kind of pleasure activist person that you are, you know what I mean? Like the
Hmm.
free spirit that you are. I never expected you, and of course, not that it's a bad thing, to
Yeah.
kind of speak about co-creation with obedience. And that might be the Jamaican, that might be the SDS, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, not a
I
bad
mean,
thing at all.
no, but I was taught to, get your responsibilities done so you can have fun. And that's
Yes.
something that I am working with and working through, where I'm not necessarily trying to like punish myself by withholding pleasure.
Yeah.
But I think my free spiritedness does come from, again, that obedience of, God told me to leave. And so
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Uh,
don't know what else to do.
I'd be like, how dare I disobey God? Like, if God said it, I
Um,
must.
I have to.
I that is a wrath I don't want.
And then I look back and I'm like, that wasn't God. That was my fear talking. Like that was my escapism with like a prompting from God, but like how I did it was very escapey.
Yeah.
Which I've learned. But yeah, I
Mhm.
feel as though for me that's where like my co-creation comes from, and all the programs that I've done and like events that I've had. That's been urgings that I've felt like deep in my body. I'm like, I have to do something.
Yeah.
And then things come together. So,
Mhm. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take that answer and jump
okay.
right into the meat and potatoes of this all. So
Okay.
you
Oh,
know, I I heard
yes.
the news, but I was like, sis, hold on to the conversation because
Yeah.
I
You were
want to
like, don't
jump on
talk
the
to me.
mic, right? I want to jump on the mic and I want this to be authentic, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
please
Yes.
tell me
Yes.
all about how this apartment came to be because I knew it was a desire and
Yeah.
a need for some
Yeah.
time. So to now have this
Yes.
be your reality, sis, how did you co-create this?
Yes. So for the folks that don't know, I have been drug in my Saturn return. Okay. I that's where it all started. I was given the instructions to leave a place that I had purposefully got to with my ex-husband, and you hear ex-husband because I am now divorced. So yeah, I was like, leave that man, leave that land. I said, wait a minute, hold on. No.
Not the
Like that's
Abraham.
I know we want to test the faith, but like, really, do we
Right.
have to do all this? And so
Mhm.
I went through essentially years of like living with other people. And I want to shout out my bestie Carlene. Like her family literally took me in when my mother didn't. And
Mhm.
so I was like living in her parents' house. There were other instances where I was like with other family for different reasons. And then, yeah, things ended up working out where I stayed with my friend again. And it
Mhm.
was a beautiful situation. I'm grateful for that opportunity to have a safe place to be, to contribute to the, I guess you could say, like the household in that way. And at the same time, it's like we both would have these real conversations of like, I need to go. And she's like, yeah, you need to go. Like, but in a loving way of like, all right, like, no, it wasn't like there was no bad vibe.
But as Jamaicans like to say, you can't have two women in one house. Like it don't
it
work.
wasn't bad, but it was just like it was years of me being mindful of how I presented myself outside of a room and like, because there would be the opposite sex in the house and not wanting to be disrespectful or if I wanted to play my music or, not necessarily having like visitors over or whatever it was. And so that's kind of like the backstory. And again, there were things in my life that happened where y'all just came through where I was like, I didn't even ask for this job and I got a job, or I ended up getting like a godfather at 32. This was last year, 32 years of age, where like he was helping me pay for college, got me a car, like, used car, all these other things. And so, yeah, girl, I just kept feeling, I was like, I know that like my time is coming where I need to leave, because the original agreement for me was to be there until the end of 2024. And my money was looking funny. Okay, like the opportunity and I was like, no ties.
Not the funny, like in money. Yes, understand that.
And so again, having a conversation with my friends, being like, I know I said December, but my like you see my financial situation. I don't know, y'all. So I was like, okay, by my birthday, and my birthday is in April. And I don't say I'm not a believer in January 1 as a new year, but I kind of am not. Mostly am not.
And I say, just come out and say it. We're really not big.
We're really not. It's not. Who does that in the wintertime? But, and I don't know what was happening cosmically, but I promise you 2025 came around and I just got this urge, and it was like, you need to look for an apartment. You need to look for a job. And I was in Orlando at the time, and it was like, look in Tampa. And I'm like, I know I got like some family there, but I was like, nope, look for a job, look for a place, go to Tampa. I said, okay. I started clickety clacking. Yes. I was on Indeed. I was looking up on Zillow apartments, and I just started like literally doing the work. And then I reconnected with my family who's out here in Tampa. Well, they moved to Tampa. But I reconnected with them, and my aunt she's also an area. So she's like, girl, apply here. I'm gonna get you into the VA, like to work for the VA and apply here. And I was like, okay. So I'm gonna be like applying. Yeah. And I didn't end up getting any of the jobs that she told me to apply for. But one of the times that I came out here, because Advent Health is like a big hospital system here in Florida. And she was like, they have open interviews on certain days. She's like, just come out and, spend the night, whatever. I said, okay, mind you, I'm substitute teaching. So I'm like going back and forth from Orlando to Tampa, just literally doing the work. And so one of the nights that I came out, she was like, hey, have you tried applying or looking into income-based housing? I'm like, no, why didn't I think about that? Because with the salary that I would be able to make, I wouldn't make 3 times the rent. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I looked up the income-based housings, and I said, okay, cool, applied. And just like, let that be. I'm still applying to jobs. I think I applied to like 50 jobs. And so, sis, when I tell you, y'all is wild, because before this, the past 2 years, I was applying to jobs like it was my business. Okay. I think I probably applied to job. Like, no, like I was applying, like applying to things that I should have got, like technically by my qualifications, like should have gotten at least the interview.
Yes.
So I said, okay, whatever. So then this January comes around, and I promise you, 1 week, I literally had an interview every day, like from 5 different jobs. And I was like, that never happens. And they were all for Tampa. And I was like, again, never happens. Everywhere else I applied to in Orlando was like, so sorry, we chose someone else, blah, blah, blah. Monday, I had the interview, and before I got off the call, they hired me. They're like, when can you start? I said, 2 weeks. I don't even have a place. Hold on. Give me time first. Right. Well, I didn't even know about the apartment. So I was like, I'm going to just have to stay at my aunt's house or sleep on the couch until I get a place. Like, I'm going to just have to do what I do. And then literally that Thursday, so Monday I get the job, Thursday I get approval for the apartment. Mind you, everyone is like, there's usually a wait list. There's no wait list. So I got approved, sent in all the like verification that I needed. And then I ended up moving like the end of January, literally like the 28th or whatever day. I started my work the first Monday of February. And yeah, and mind you, let me say this too. I was very ready to be like, I'm gonna just do van life or I'm gonna be in a studio because all I can afford is about like $1,300 in rent. Like, and that's still pushing it. Sis, I have a 3-bedroom apartment
Wow.
for about $1,400. A little like
That's
right
why
under
you say you had room for me and the family.
Yes, honey.
You're like, come on down.
Okay.
Come to Tampa.
Okay. I got my bedroom, I got spare room, I got the guest room. What you want? You want the living room?
Yes.
Like, so that's really
Wow.
how, like, it really just happened in the way where, again, like, I got that urge, I got that feeling, and I was like, can't, like, okay, I'm gonna just go. And it opened up, like,
Wow.
immediately. And
That's
so,
amazing.
yeah,
So,
that's it.
if I heard you correctly, you got job on Monday, apartment on Thursday.
Moved in like
Wow.
2 weeks later.
Yeah, talk about like open roads, clear paths.
Girl.
That's phenomenal. I love that. I'm so
Thanks.
like thrilled for you. That's just like, being your friend and knowing your story and know the seasons that you're going through and the things you're experiencing. Like, what a W, what a win on the board. And
There are
it just
times where
all
I'm like,
came to be.
wow, it's wild that I have to get used to taking up space in my own place right now.
Ooh.
Because I've been so used to like just being in one room and like eating in that room and sleeping in the room and like doing everything in one room.
Yes, now you have like
Now I'm
space
like,
to just like be free
do
and
things.
unleash. Yeah. Live. Like
Yes,
empty your
yeah,
mind. You know what I mean? Like I feel like where you live,
girl.
you should be able to just like pop off the top of your head, literally like empty your mind, allow your thoughts to take up space around you, your energy to fill the space, like make that your home. So I'm
Yeah.
happy that this blessing came to you.
Thank you, sis.
Okay, so when it came to co-creating, manifesting, receiving this blessing, however you want to refer to it, right? We talked about you getting the nudge, like the clear instructions, essentially, like, all right, pack up your things. You're going to go to Tampa. You're going to live there. You're going to work there. Let's go. Can you tell me more about the spiritual part of it all? And I really want to know, kind of like taking a step back, what things were like for you before you arrived at this space? Like internally, what was going on energetically for you?
I feel as though I was arriving at, that might be the term that I want to use, like arriving at contentment. I was also um like just doing things for myself. And also a big part I think came from my godfather coming into my life at the time that he did. Because as you know, like my biological father has not been present in my life. Like we have or had a tumultuous relationship or like a broken relationship as well. And so through like the past few years, I've really been learning that I can be cared for, that like people can care for me, that I can be taken care of. And then once I was in a more grounded space, then I could also contribute and co-create that energy of caring for myself because for a while, like I physically couldn't. So I think I was in that place of, okay, I can take care of myself and I can also allow other people to take care of me. And I think that translated to a grander scale of, okay, like the Most High also has me, like my ancestors have me. And like there's a part of me that knew that before, but also when I'll speak for myself, when I go through really low lows, I'm like, who cares about me? No one cares. No one in this earth, no one in this universe, like nobody cares. And so I think I finally got to a place where I'm like, oh no, I am cared for. Like I really know and understand that I am cared for. I am loved. I think also I've been working with kids for the past year and change. And I feel as though that has also opened up my heart to love really deeply and to love unconditionally. And again, I know I experienced that with friends like you as my friend and other friends and other adults, but I think there's also a part of my inner child that has been healing because I've been getting to play, I've been getting to every day see things through a child's eyes and interact with them and be the mother that I would have wanted or that role model that I would have wanted. So I think there's that divine masculine, divine feminine energy that was really present for me where I could physically see it. And then also it was like happening within me. So I think that's really where I was before a lot of things started happening. Like I'm back in school, I was working. So I think my life just started to be more productive, like literally productive, not necessarily that I'm putting more into the world right now, which is wild because you know
I
me,
mean,
I'm always
you're
like,
existing. Yeah.
I
I
am,
think we have to be okay with like existing.
yeah, and I think I'm like okay with that. There's a part of me that's like, oh,
Mhm.
like I still want to put this out and put that out, and yeah, I was like, that'll be fine whenever it's ready, like in a year or
Yeah.
two or whatever. And I'm like, but no one will care about me. And I'm like, yeah. Like just like you said, like live your life, be happy, celebrate, like honor yourself, love, be loved, and I think that is just that energy where again like I stopped posting on like my Chavae page, I stopped posting on Substack, like I've just been pouring into myself and allowing
Mhm.
others to pour into me and also allowing myself to pour into like my direct community.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to be so important, I guess you can say,
Oh
on a
my
mass
gosh,
scale of like
yeah.
proving myself of
Yeah.
worth and deservedness, I guess is that's
Mhm.
the word, but
Yeah.
like now I'm just
Uh-huh.
like, I do what I want.
Yeah, and when I was listening to you speak, the question that I wanted to ask was like, when did it click for you? When did that understanding come here to stay, you know? And I don't want to like answer for you, but hearing you
Mhm.
say that worthiness, that deservedness, that's what kids walk around here like, um, it's time for my cracker.
They don't
I trust that you're
care.
gonna go get this cracker. It's time for whatever. I want this. It's gonna show up. Their attitude is just like,
Yeah.
I deserve.
They deserve and they trust you. So I work
Yeah.
with children on the autism spectrum, and I call
Mhm.
them my babies. One of my babies is nonverbal, and lately he makes me draw vegetables like every
Mhm.
day, and makes me draw monkeys every day. And one day because like he's nonverbal, but like he'll say a few things, and he'll say like these
Yes.
fruits and vegetables. And so, girl, I remember he's like monkey, and he's like, like trying to move my hand to draw. And I'm like, first of all, how do you know I could draw a monkey?
I'm
Like,
just
I
about to
don't
ask
know
you,
if
could you
I could
draw?
draw a monkey. Yeah, I have to look on Google, like,
Do you have that
how about
capacity?
I'm like, and I
Mhm.
drew. He's
'Cause I
like,
would have drawn I would have
girl,
said a happy face, "Let
girl.
this be the monkey child," because
No,
I
girl,
cannot
he's
do
like,
it.
I can get through. He has a thing where it's carrot, cucumber, tomato, pepper, onion, egg, right?
Mhm.
Every day. These are the things that
Mhm.
I have to draw. And girl, if I don't draw right, I have to scrap the whole paper, even if I get to egg and it's wrong. He just do it again.
Out
I'm
with
like,
this.
"Ugh."
Out with
But anyways,
this.
it must be perfect. But what I'm saying is
Yeah.
like these kids are like, you know more than me.
Mhm.
Just draw it. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know if I have those capabilities. But again, realistically, like thank you so much for believing in me. But I need to go to Google. But kids have this deep trust
Yeah.
in us as adults, whether it be like parents that they physically came from or just a trusted adult like I am in the position of. And they're just like, okay, if even if I can't
Make it happen,
talk,
captain. Right.
you gonna make it happen, or else I'm gonna
Mhm.
literally fall out and
Mhm.
tantrum until you figure out what I
Mhm.
want. And
Mhm.
that's honestly, to be honest, that's kind of how I got with God. I said, listen here, figure it out. You got like I be getting gully with God. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just like, listen, you brought me here. You told me to leave. So
Mhm. Make it happen.
uh
Yeah. No,
Respectfully.
I'm a firm believer in holy boldness. Like, I feel like when I've seen God move, I've been like, big guy.
Like, so
Dad, my father. Right. What's going on? You told me X. I'm waiting on Y. Hello. Like for real, that
I'm
holy boldness
trying.
takes you far. Yeah. I'm giving
Mhm.
you what I got. Meet me halfway. Can you pick me up?
Or not.
Because I think that's that, like, I trust you. You're my trusted adult. Like, you are my
Mhm.
person. You're responsible for me. You're not going to let me fall out, are you?
Yeah, but let me tell. Look, I'm gonna say this on your podcast. I think, though I am, I might come back to it another time. But for me, I think that how do I want to word this? Um, I think that I had an unhealthy relationship with the Most High
Mm-hmm.
because of the lack of the relationship that I had with my physical father on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Makes
think I was
sense.
like if this man wants nothing to do with me, has abandoned me, doesn't want to provide for me, doesn't want to be responsible for me, doesn't want to be accountable for these things, then like what makes anybody think that I'm going to trust something or someone that I cannot physically see? And so I think I had to like work through that. And again, I really think once my godfather came into my life and like I told him about myself, met him at a church potluck, and he was like, "You're amazing." Like,
Which you are.
why wouldn't anyone thank you? And sometimes I genuinely need those reminders because I'm like, I just be moving through life thinking that this sounds very boasty, and I'm not trying to be like this, but like
There's
I think
easier
everyone
space
moves
to
through
get.
life. No, but like moving through life, being considerate and empathetic and kind to the best of their abilities, and people are not good humans. Like it's wild to me. Where I'm like, wow, like this is really how some people like someone has never met someone that's kind or has never met someone that's understanding.
So you really had to come to a place, even prior to that understanding and awareness that you're worthy, that you're deserving, that you
Mm-hmm.
are, loved unconditionally and you should be able to pour into yourself. You first had to come into kind of like, I don't want to use the term right, but let's say right understanding
Mm-hmm.
of who God is and who God is to
Mm-hmm.
you and for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had to allow people to take care of me for me to get to a place where I could take care of myself.
You went from being in that, to use your language, that low space of like, nobody wants me, nobody loves me, nobody cares me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's the point of this all? To being like, wait a minute. Whoa. I am a
Mm-hmm.
worthy human being. I'm a kind human being. I'm worthy of love. I deserve to take up space where I want to
Mm-hmm.
live, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's because of the kids. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow. Let me tell you, you already know. I don't got to say this to you, but I'm gonna say it in the sense that like it's so amazing how God and like spirit just puts you in positions that
Girl.
help you become
Girl.
more of the divine you and usher in you into the lifestyle that you want, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible
Mm-hmm.
because let me tell you, children, just being around them makes you realize and understand that parent relationship better, honest to God.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, wait a minute, you looking at me like this, you're trusting me like this. God, maybe I should do the
Mm-hmm.
same with you. Now let me
Mm-hmm.
go be obedient to what it is that you're telling me so that I could really walk into this lifestyle, this blessing, the
Mm-hmm.
things that I am praying to you for.
Yeah. And the things that I trust that
You
you're gonna provide.
yeah. Yeah, it's that trust. So I really kind of want to unpack this a little bit more because we know when it comes to co-creating with God, it's really not as simple as just like waving your Hermione wand around
Mm-hmm.
Wingardium Leviosa and just like
That was
having having the blessing up there. It takes work. And you alluded to, like you said, I was out there doing the work. I was going
Mhm.
between Orlando and Tampa. I'm going to job interviews, looking at jobs, talking to my aunt. Like you were literally doing the work. And of
Mhm.
course, faith without works is dead. We know that.
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
feel like sometimes we only think of that in terms of like the actual outer action, like the actual
Mm-hmm.
tangible things that I can do, right? But
Mm-hmm.
before we get to that, like you've spoken to, there's a lot of inner work that to be done, that needs to be
Mm.
done
Yeah.
energetically and spiritually to get us to a point where we can really partner with God. Like where we in
Yeah.
here, like, okay, we in the kitchen cooking up something together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So with that point in mind, I want us to get into the chakra system for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I understand sometimes that, and I think you and I are the perfect example of who the people that we're talking to are, in the sense that, you come from church, but then you kind of like, oh, what's over there? Like you poke around, what's going on here? You're like you do your research and you go down a walk that really requires you to heal. And you're
Yeah.
using the spiritual tools at your disposal. But then sometimes held up against the faith that you're raised in, folks may make you second guess it or think otherwise about like, what's that thing over there? What you,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
The devil,
So,
girl.
you
That's
know, the D
let's
word.
just go. That's what they say. The devil.
Girl, that's demonic. Like, no, it's not. If it don't work for you, it don't work for you. But I really
Mm-hmm.
want to, as not only the faith that we come from, but also just being wellness educators and having an understanding of how the two overlap, how they work
Yeah.
together, how they have the same message being spoken about in different ways. I really want to introduce this concept of chakras in a very like relatable way. So let's just talk about chakras.
So a chakra, essentially, there are hundreds technically in our bodies, but there are seven main ones. They're just major energy points in the body that, for me, I use them almost. I get out in the cars where like different lights will come on. It's like, check this, check that, da 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 da. Like that's kind of for me
Like
how
a
I
check
use.
engine light.
Yeah, like different points. I'm like, this is low, this is high, this is okay. So for me, they're just energy points or wheels is technically what they are, where they're turning and it goes from the base of the spine upwards. And they can be overactive, underactive, or just in harmony with
Balanced.
one another.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're balanced, and they technically stack, but they are kind of in conjunction with each other.
So basically, chakras are these like energy centers where we
Mhm.
hold and process energy related to like our emotions, our thoughts, our experiences, whether good or bad. And to your point,
Mhm.
because they can either be overactive or underactive, an ideal operating scenario is when they're open, when they're balanced, and energy
Mhm.
just like flowing through them. Like when you're driving, you get all green lights, basically.
Yeah, and it's like flowing up and down. So it's just like the energy is just free flowing. Like no, it's like
Like
a river
infinity
with no
almost.
dam. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, love that. So no blockages. So to your
Correct.
point of going up and down, we do have,
Mm-hmm.
or I guess the way I've been taught to understand chakras is there's basically three main regions. Your lower chakras, your center chakra, and then your upper or top chakras. So
Mm-hmm.
the three lower ones, like you said, are at the base of your spine, by your navel, and to like the center of your stomach, and then we get into the
Mm-hmm.
heart. So
Mm-hmm.
going through each chakra, let's start with the root. Tell us
Yeah.
more about what this chakra deals with.
Oh, have mercy. It's my least favorite chakra because I've been working on it for like a decade.
Mhm.
But the root chakra is literally our foundation with the element of earth, and it speaks to belonging, speaks to family, it speaks to like literally being grounded. Some
Like
people say
basic
it speaks to
survival.
like yeah, survival. Like if you even think of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it kind of aligns with that. You have food, shelter, water, belongingness, family, purpose.
Like human experience in this 3D body, in this form of matter, in this solid existence, you need to be
Hmm.
fed, you need to have community, you need to be
Hmm.
clothed, you need to have somewhere to lay your head at night. Like those, to your point, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the base of the pyramid. Next, after that, we have the sacral. In my understanding,
Hmm.
I mean, you hear sacral, you're like sex, sexuality. But for me, I
Hmm.
think I've been taking it, I mean, is that and. So I take it to also mean sensuality, like how we
Hmm.
see ourselves and interact with the world. and
Mhm.
ultimately create. Like, what do we take in? What do we do with it? And then how do we kind of like express it? How do we share it?
Yeah, yeah. And so the element for that chakra, excuse me, let me say, is water. And so
Mm-hmm.
what I've learned about it is essentially the same as you, and that that's also like where our emotions are housed.
Mm-hmm. That's why
And
your hips get
often
all tight
stored.
and tense, child.
Hips get tight, why a lot of
Uh-huh.
Black women have a lot of reproductive issues because we have a lot of suppressed emotions, and trauma also often lives in the sacral chakra.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Shiante Jones had said like it's like your bowl, like a bowl, where like your emotions just get stored, and so we have to figure out ways to process and move that. But yeah, like sexual energy, sensual energy. So not just like the primitive act of reproducing or having the sex, but yeah, just getting in touch with the emotions. Hence why a lot of these men's hips are tight and not well greased and oiled.
Makes sense. And when, to your point, since our emotions, if we're calling it like the bowl of emotions, right? Let's label it that.
Mm-hmm.
It tends to be blocked by feelings of guilt, blame, shame,
Shame.
or just
Mm-hmm.
shame. Shame's a big one. And then the inverse of that, what would open it up is when we feel that self-love that you were talking about, that acceptance,
Mm-hmm.
that like, wait a minute, like I belong. This is my space. I should be able to interact with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to my point before is like they interact with each other. So that's still speaking to the heart chakra, which I know we'll get to,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
Mm-hmm.
tied into like they're all tied into each other. We'll talk.
All right. So up next, we have the solar plexus. When I think solar plexus, I think big B energy, like big Beyonce, yellow,
Mm-hmm.
lemonade dress. Like,
Mm-hmm.
baby, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to shine like the sun. Like, you're going to see me. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
take up my
Yeah.
space. So that one's by your stomach, right? Like between
Yes.
your navel and your ribs.
Yeah, so it's right where your rib cages meet, like right where your sternum is. So yeah, right where your diaphragm is essentially. That's
Mm-hmm.
why when you do the breath of fire and you're breathing in and out of your diaphragm, that's what activates the solar plexus. And yeah, so like your willpower, like your motivation to like do in the world, it's kind of like a furnace, essentially, like your furnace to get the energy going and moving.
Mm-hmm. So that covers our sense of power and self-esteem,
Hmm.
self-control. Like you said,
Hmm.
okay, I'm finna get up and release a surprise album and all
Hmm.
is gonna be well, right? Like the ability to express yourself and just that I am, that big I am energy.
Hmm. Hmm.
So a blocked solar plexus could look like low self-esteem, fear of
Hmm.
being rejected, a sense of
Hmm.
helplessness, or even a lack of self-control.
Hmm. Yeah. Yep, girl. I'm telling you. I'm like, as we're going through this, I'm like, yeah. All of those were like off for like a
Mhm.
year for me. Like
Yeah, off,
everything off.
unopened,
Off,
not spinning right.
blocked.
Check. Cross that off the list. That wasn't working right. That light came on. I understand.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So next we're moving on up. So we're starting at the spine. We went around by our pubic bone, like our
Hmm.
sexual organs. Let's just name it
Hmm.
that. Up, by our sternum, by our diaphragm.
Hmm.
Okay, so the middle chakra, your heart chakra, center of your chest near your heart. What is this chakra all about?
Love, just like unconditional love, acceptance, like self-acceptance, but it's receiving and giving love. So just like
Hmm.
how the heart chakra is in the center of the lower and upper chakras, it is like that dynamic of giving and receiving, or giving
Hmm.
as you receive and receiving as you give, and flowing back, like you said before, the infinity. That's what I
Yeah.
know the heart chakra to be.
And I just cannot now undo like the vision of like a flowing
The
infinity
infinity,
symbol,
yeah.
like that giving and receiving love. And what I also learned about the heart chakra, which makes sense as to why it's your middle chakra, it basically connects. It's that bridge
Hmm. It is.
between your lower and your upper chakras.
Hmm.
So being that bridge, it's what connects those lower chakras of our humanness to the upper chakras of our like divinity, our spiritual selves.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get up into that now. Let's talk
Can I say
about,
something really quick
of
though? What I just
course.
like, not to say what came to me because it's nothing new, but when, excuse me, sorry, people say like, love heals all. I'm like, oh, like that kind of makes sense. Where like that love as that bridge to whatever we're going through, like really does heal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that flippantly or just to be like, oh, just love and everything will be
Equally love,
well.
yeah. Uh-huh.
No, I'm just like genuine love, like, and love
Yeah.
as an action, love as a verb. Again, like being able to receive that in order to like firm up yourself. But yeah, like love really does do wonders.
With that love, giving it, receiving it, healing things,
Mhm.
where do we go next? Up into the throat. Talk to us about the throat chakra.
The throat chakra is the chakra that I was born with open. Okay.
That one works.
That one has
Check. That
always
one,
worked.
that mic is on.
But the throat chakra is about communication,
Mhm.
expression. So is the sacral chakra. That's another thing. For me, I feel as though sacral is more of like an internal or like personal expression, like for yourself,
Yeah.
and the throat chakra is an
Yeah.
expression outwards. And it's not just about like vocal communication, it's whether it's written or art or whatever it is to express your inner thoughts outwards for
Mm.
others to receive.
Yeah. That is our ability to speak our truth, to speak up
Mm-hmm.
for ourselves, to articulate, and to your point, express. And what that looks like closed, because I could say this is
Mm-hmm.
one for me that was not open and like I'm now working on. For me, like I was really unable to express myself, especially
Mm-hmm.
vocally, you know? For me,
Yeah.
I would like write, I would definitely write something out, or I would listen to music that aligned with how I was feeling. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely was in my Paramore and my Evanescence bag
Listen, the children don't even
back
know.
then.
They don't even know.
But for me that's closed. But also you mentioned that chakras could be overactive. So that could be the
Mm-hmm.
talking too much, like the constant judgment, the gossiping, or the even speaking
Mm-hmm.
without thinking are all what I
Mm-hmm.
understand to be kind of like symptoms of a throat chakra that's out of whack.
Yeah, and I'll speak for myself on this, and I know I've seen, people on the internet talk about it, but like over explaining
Mm.
was a big thing. And it still kind of is for me, where it's a trauma response
I was
for
about to say
me,
that
where
sounds like trauma.
it's very trauma response. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In order for me to attempt to get you to understand where I was coming from so that you don't harm me. So it's
Yeah,
this
true.
big,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Big on the don't beat me.
Honey.
I wasn't even trying to do all that. Right.
I know, but
I
yeah.
totally get it. Okay, third eye. This is what I feel like I kind of always had. Like my
Mm-hmm.
ability to like see, my
Mm-hmm.
ability to sense was there from
Mm-hmm.
young. You know, like
Yeah.
kids, and to the
Mm-hmm.
point, going back to kids see. They can see beyond.
Listen, the aunt that I just reconnected with, she was like, "Yeah, you used to say some stuff to your mom," and I'm like, "Yeah, I can see
Mhm.
why my mom doesn't really like me because I would see things."
Not me laughing
I'm
at
like,
that because
"Didn't
that's
you
kind of not funny. Yeah.
say?" I'm like, "Didn't?" But I saw you. That don't. These don't add
Hmm.
up. But
Right.
but
And they
yeah,
gonna call
that
you
third
out.
eye. Listen,
Hmm.
I will call somebody out because like this don't make sense. This doesn't track. But yeah, third eye is like seeing beyond our physical, like 3D world, our intuition,
Mm.
tapping in with our spirit team, whatever people might believe, whether it's just Yahweh, their God, their Orishas, their ancestors, like whatever it is, like tapping into these energies that are beyond what we can physically perceive with our eyes.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about like, well, move from root up is because I feel as though a lot of people like dive into spirituality
And want to start right
just
there
like, and
between the
start there. And
eyebrows.
I'm like, whoa, like you're not grounded, like you're not
Baby,
grounded.
that power will move right through you.
And it might
You'll
take you
take
out.
away
I've seen
yourself.
people that,
Right.
no, I not take away yourself, but none. Oh my gosh. But yeah, people just be ready to like open up their third eye. And it's like, that's dangerous.
Right. And
And
God's like, are you even in your body? And I think, where I am in my life and where I want to get to, my constant reminder is see beyond, look beyond. Like, don't
Mhm.
take this reality as like the end all be all. Speak those things that are not as they are, you know?
Yeah, we wrestle not
So,
against flesh and blood, but against,
yeah.
spiritual principalities. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
we want to just skim over that or just say it. And it's like, no, like there are spirits and energies out here. And,
Mhm.
I do hear a lot of people talking about like, if you tap into things like you can expose yourself to other entities, which I totally hear and it's totally valid. And I think that's when discernment comes in and just like to know what you are allowed to and not allowed to tap into, what you like,
Mhm.
what protections you need, which is why you need to be grounded,
Mhm.
why we need to be clear so that we can receive those messages of like, okay, like this is allowed until this point.
Okay, crown.
Yes.
Top of the head. Top of the head.
Yes.
The highest of the 7 chakras, right? So now
Yes.
this is our 7th chakra, the 3rd of the upper chakra. Would you consider this to be like the ultimate chakra, or do you think that all of them are like even?
I don't know if ultimate is the word that I would use. It's I would say ultimate in the sense of it's literally the closest one to the divine.
Mhm.
And that's like literally the chakra that we tap into for that. It's like the higher consciousness or the connection to the divine.
Mhm.
Um, but as I said before, if we're not grounded, right, like if we haven't cleared out that trauma, that shame, that blame, that guilt, if we don't have that self will, that self trust, if we don't have that love, if we're unable
Mhm.
to communicate, if we can't see beyond, then like a crown being open is pointless. Yeah, like it's pointless.
Whatever information you're gonna get has nowhere to flow, nowhere to go.
And
If
yeah, like
all the
nowhere
below
to
ones
land.
are blocked. Yeah.
And then also like what's the purpose of receiving that um higher information if we're not going to bring it down to synthesize into
Mhm.
something that's applicable on the earth plane. So again, it's like that
Yes.
infinity of like I believe that like we are created so that God can experience certain things. Um
Absolutely.
so
Yes.
if there's like if God is communicating with us for us to like experience and do the things here on the earth plane, like we still have to return something to the Most
True.
High in
Like,
in
here it
this
is. Yeah.
in this
Here's what you wanted
co-creation.
to experience.
Hmm.
We just went through the chakra system. Now
Hmm.
I want you to kind of put it back in terms of your story and walk us
Mm.
through, like you mentioned, going up and down. So like how were you able to get that hit? Like, yo, it's about to be time to get up out of here. And then literally move that through your body, move that through your energy centers to
Hmm.
make that and transform that spiritual hit into an actual apartment. Like, what
Mm.
did you have to do internally to bring this blessing to pass?
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, like
Mm.
how did you co-create this with God?
Like my whole internal landscape had to shift.
Hmm.
Like that, I think is something that I was working on for years. So I think first it was a lot of clearing out. And I think a big part of that clearing out, to be honest, happened when I decided to not speak to my mother. I feel as though there was an
Oh,
attachment. I know.
child.
Wonderful, right? Charm with your
No,
mom.
no,
Like,
no,
here we
no, no.
are.
I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God. We
So,
just know, listener, we're gonna have you back on episode after that because there's just so much to get into. So
girl,
much.
listen. So yes, the beginning of 2023, I ended up getting into a big argument with my mom, cussed her clean out. I did ask, not even say I asked for forgiveness. I apologized
Hmm.
wholeheartedly afterwards. But then I was like, I just can't talk to you. Like, I need
Hmm.
to get myself together. I cannot depend on you. Like, me depending on you is
It's just gonna trigger you.
Consistent disappointment, which sets me back. And so I was like, I need to be able to talk to you when it does not matter how you show up, that I will not be moved. And I'm still not there, so I'm like, I'm still not talking to you. Sorry, love you so much, but also like I love me, and done. So I think that was the first big shift for me, was when I stopped expecting my mother to show up for me in a way that I needed. And I was like, let me love you, genuinely love you for who you are. And that's someone that I cannot depend on. So it is what it is. So I feel like accepting her, there was a part of that that allowed me to accept myself, because she is a part of me, like literally.
In coming into that, I feel like in what you just said, we just named several of the chakras. So throat, I'm just going to start wherever. I'm not going in order. So you decided to stop communicating with your mom. You didn't feel like you can express your truth with her. Express yourself, going back down to the solar plexus. Not someone that you could depend on. You didn't feel safe and secure with her. Root.
Yeah, family, still root.
Yeah. You mentioned the heart, about like, you love her, but you also got to love you too, because you can't pour from an empty cup. Like, you literally have to love yourself. So like, I feel like we just hit
and the will and solar plexus of just being like, I have to do this thing. And have the willpower to follow through on it, because there were times where I would tell him like, oh, like, I'm not going to talk to you for a little bit. Let me get myself together. And then I'm like, I want my mom. Like, my inner child is like, but I want my mommy. And then I go back, I'm like disappointed, and the cycle keeps continuing. And again, I also want to give credit to Carlene, my friend, who was like, girl, focus on you. Like, my aunt, same thing. Focus on you. Like, get yourself together. You get stable. You get secure, which is like root, right? Everyone's like, focus on your root. Just focus on your root. We will support you in however we can, but like, you need to be stable. So I think that mentality started when I was like, okay, as much as I love showing up in the community for wellness, like, this is not producing income that I need to survive. So I need to look elsewhere. And I prayed about it, third eye, and it was like, okay, like, stick with this teaching, like, or like working in school, should I say, working with kids. And so that, I think, just kept building on itself. Again, my godfather helping to provide, like, physically provide for me, my friends providing a roof over my head and food, right, for me to eat. So it was like that. And then I started reading the Bible again for myself, like from the beginning, and really getting into the stories and etymology. So really getting into that spiritual foundation for me to come back to God for myself, from my own perspective. And then every day that I would leave the house, because I was actually leaving to go to work, there was a lot of prayer. I was also working at a Seventh-day Adventist school, or in a Seventh-day Adventist school system at the time. So I think like spirituality was very forward. Like, even if people were more on the religious side, there were constant reminders for me to tap back in and to check in with myself. So yeah, I think a lot of that was this moving through the chakra system. And again, it wasn't just like, okay, first we're going to do root, then we're going to do solar plexus,
because
and then we're going to do
like
they're like jumbled. They're like jumbled in with each other, or they play into one another. Like you said, I was like, okay, like, I have to love myself, which led me back to the root chakra, which also is like with my money, but then that also gives me self-confidence, which is in the solar plexus. And then I'm able to get things that I can use to make me feel more sensual. I was creating art again, like for the first time, where I was like, oh my gosh, like, I miss creating art, which is very like
to even be in that space. You got to feel like you can't be in survival mode and creating art.
You physically can't. You physically can't be in survival and creator mode. You physically cannot. And so I was just like, all right, I'm just going to create the thing for me, right? Like, and this is not for me to release to the world,
make
or
money,
for me to profit off of. And not that that's wrong for anyone to do, but I was just doing it because I wanted to do it. And I was like, I maybe or may not share this on my personal Instagram page, or no one will ever see this thing. I don't know. But I was just doing it for the love of myself. Like, what makes me feel good? What makes me feel loved? What makes me feel whole? What makes me feel connected to the Most High? Because creating does make me feel like I am connected to the Creator. So
Because
yeah,
God
it was.
created us to create.
Listen. So again, it's that as above, so below,
Another
that
episode.
infinity.
Yeah.
He said another episode. I'm done. But yeah, I think that was a lot of or the basis of like me consciously and unconsciously moving through my chakras and trying to make sure that I'm tapping into um to balance all of my chakras. And but the goal is, what does the most high want for me? And again, how can I be obedient, and how can I be a steward? And what's wild is when I got divorced, I took back my last name and I was like, I don't think I'll ever change my last name again. My last name is Stewart.
Yeah.
And it's like to be a steward, and that's who, or the role that
Let me
I
tell you,
feel that.
Grandpa Stu is just like sitting on your shoulder,
Right, I know.
like, you better take my name.
Listen,
What you doing?
That's my name.
Right.
I don't know.
Bring my name back. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, just moving through all of that and still constantly every day checking in. But I think it's a process for me where, again, like I wake up and I say, especially since I started reading the Bible for myself, it's like I want people to be able to see the fruits of the spirit in me. I don't care where they're from, I don't care what they believe in. I want them to see the fruits of the spirit in me, and I want them to feel
Like,
God
that's a
love.
godly woman.
Yeah, like I want them to feel God love in me.
Hey, open heart, you know?
But it's grounded, right? It's not just
Yes.
like this, I'm outpouring. In order to receive that love, it's very boundaried up now. And yeah, like I have to be consistent in like not allowing everyone full access to me.
I get that, because it's the boundaries that kind of help you, not even kinda, the boundaries that we put in place for ourselves and those we hold near and dear help set and establish our energetic and our spiritual boundaries.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna come wear me down, then then my root is undone once
Now
more.
I have to fit in that with literally with my mom. It's like every conversation I would have to regulate back. And I'm like, or I could just not talk to her. I don't have to do this anymore.
Put you on ice for a little bit.
Yeah, love you so much. Put you in the freezer.
Okay, so now let's turn all this amazing insight into something light. It's time for our practical tool. So we want you, our listener, our girl, to apply this framework to your own co-creation practice. And we're going to connect each one of the chakras and its purpose to a scripture to help some of y'all out, because I can feel the resistance. And I can feel some growing concern. So for those who want, the additional support, we're going to share how it connects back to God's word.
Yeah.
So starting at the root chakra, again, this is at the base of our spine and has to deal with feeling grounded, feeling stable, and actually like bringing material things into this world. That's what its entire purpose is, for us to take spiritual inspiration into the material world and make something like tangible, make it real. So the way that we co-create with this chakra is to stay grounded in trust, security, and gratitude, ensuring that you believe your goal, your vision, your desire, it's a sure thing. And the verse I want to connect this with is Psalms 1, verse 3. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields fruit in season.
I know that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll move into the sacral chakra, which houses our creativity, emotional balance. And the purpose of this chakra is to use your creativity and your sensuality, as in all of our senses, so seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, and hearing, for the greater good. And how to co-create with this chakra is to embrace creativity in your everyday tasks, even in the mundane or the most grand tasks like writing or designing, building, planning, or even your day-to-day work. And then just enjoy the process of bringing your desires to pass and to romanticize your life in whatever ways that you can. And so the verse that can help you with this is Exodus 35, verse 31. and he has filled him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom, understanding, and creative skills.
Yeah, that romanticizing your life,
Mm.
so important. I need to do that more. Okay, so after the sacral chakra, we're moving up into my big Beyonce energy chakra, the solar plexus, which again relates to our personal power, our confidence, our ability to take action. The entire purpose of this is to, again, translate divine inspiration into intentional, confident action. So, how do we co create with this one? Walk confidently in the direction of your vision. Take inspired, aligned action. So, inspired to me means this aligns with what God told me to do. This feels like the next right action, this next step that I should take. I got that hit to go look up jobs in Tampa. I'm gonna do it, no questions asked. And we also talked about this just now too, setting clear boundaries and make decisions that align with said vision. So you're not gonna be like, you know what, my aunt needs help out in Virginia. God told me to go to Tampa, so I'm about to go to Virginia. Hopefully it all works. No, we're setting that boundary, Auntie. I'm going to Tampa.
I'll do what I can.
From afar.
Yeah, sorrow's prayers, but that's all I got.
Sorrows, prayers. I'm gonna pray for you. I'll be in Tampa. Our supporting verse for this one, a lot of us know it. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Like just moving with that power, you don't know. Like it's just it's a laugh. It's done. It's finished. It's over for you, okay? It's done.
All right.
Heart.
Yep. I can go on. Yep. The heart chakra, our bridge between the lower and upper chakras. And this chakra, again, is all about love, capital L love, unconditional love, balance, and connection, not just with others outside of yourself, but with yourself, with your internal landscape. And the purpose of this chakra is to ensure that your co creations are aligning with that divine love, that they are aligning with compassion and harmony, which are all essential elements of God's character. And how we can co create with this chakra is to check your intentions, sis. So, do your goals, does your vision align with love? And again, not just earthly love, but divine love, love that's bigger than us. Does what you want to do align with the compassion and service that God has placed in your heart? Another way to co create with this chakra is to practice forgiveness, empathy, and love. It's to remain open hearted in a grounded and balanced way and to energetically be receptive to your blessings. You cannot eat with closed mouth, right? Like closed mouths don't get fed. If your hands are crossed up in front of your body, you cannot receive your blessings that way. And so the verse that can support this is 1 Corinthians 13:13. And it says, and now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love.
Okay, the throat. Clearly express divine guidance. Yes, Lord. Through words, prayer, affirmation, and honest self-expression. I've been doing a lot better with the latter, so just need to do the rest of them. But in terms of how to co-create with the throat chakra, speak positively and confidently about your goals and visions, trusting and knowing that they're going to come to pass. And praying in the affirmative, speaking as if you have it, thanking God that it is so. That is how I pray now. I used to be like, there are moments when I'm like, God, come pick me up from the party. Like, I need you.
Help me.
Help me. Okay. But there are times where I'm like, God, you got it. God, thank you so much for fill in the blank. God, I know that it is. God, thank you that I'm already in XYZ space. Praying in the affirmative. Just making sure that the things that you're saying, even the things that you're thinking, align with God's truth and speak those things to truth repeatedly. So, of course, we're going to pull out another powerful one. Proverbs 18:21, life and death are in the power of the tongue.
The third eye chakra, which is about our clarity, vision, intuition. And this chakra helps us to clearly interpret and envision the inspiration that we receive, whether it be through vision or feelings or knowing. And how to co create with this chakra is to trust your intuition as divine guidance, and also to be able to discern what is divine guidance and what is ego or fear. To pay attention to the dreams and the visions, intuitive nudges, signs, or anything that comes to you that feels like it is a message from the divine.
And the divine only.
Listen, because we do have to be mindful about, is this what I want or is this what the Most High wants? And
True.
that can be tricky to parse out, which I totally get it. And yeah, and also to trust the divine enough to allow God to actually guide your visions and to literally step out of your own way from blocking your blessings. And so the verse that supports this is Proverbs 29, verse 18, where there is no vision, the people perish.
And I'm also thinking of, now listen, I'm not, before I get into it, I'm not claiming to be a biblical scholar. I'm not
at all.
But if I'm recollecting the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 correctly, even when the vision is playing around and it's not showing up, like it's still going to come to pass. It will still take the words and make it plain, like make it known, because it's going to come to pass.
That, yes, has been a prayer that I've prayed. It's like, yes, give me the discernment, and also like pare down the nudges, pare down the signs, so that I have less to interpret and less room for error, because it looking back, we know like, oh, those were signs, but I chose to interpret that sign in a way that benefited what I wanted.
Yeah. One of my favorite affirmations is like, I see with the eyes of spirit. I clearly see the way.
Writing that down.
I'll text it to you, girl. But should I repeat it again?
Yes. Cool up.
I see with the eyes of the spirit. I see clearly the way forward. Man, yeah, we need that at times, because we will be easily caught up in like, well, I want to go over here, when God's like, but I need you over here.
Listen, what is it? Confirmation bias is real, even in interpretation.
For sure. It really is. Up to the crown, up to the time. So the crown chakra, right at the top of your head, this is where we receive divine inspiration, wisdom, and clarity from God. And this too is kind of like we were just saying about discerning the voices. This is where it can get tricky, because we be in our heads. We need to hear God's voice pierce through the worries, the fears, the anxieties, our own voice. And a lot of times people say, well, how do you know which voice is God's voice? You know.
I have always felt is that the voice of the divine, or however someone receives the divine, because it might not be like a hearing thing, it might be a visual or a sensation or whatever it is, however someone receives the divine's instruction, it's very patient. It's very quiet. It's very sweet.
That's still
it's very kind, yet literally. And I feel as though
it doesn't bash you. It's like the definition of love. Love is patient. Love is like, God is love. It sounds like love, feels like love.
Really. And even in like the stern moments, it's that. And I feel as though the voice of my ego or whatever else that's not that is very chaotic and angry and loud and mean and all of that. And so, yeah, like God will never point you to harm yourself or to do something that could cause harm to yourself or others.
Yeah. Or cause you to feel shame.
Yeah, like it literally is a high vibrational prompting. Again, however someone receives inspiration or messages from the divine.
Yes. So we do this. We tap into that crown. We receive our inspiration, our wisdom, and our clarity from God by prayer. Hit the big guy on the big line, meditation. I have to do my meditation. It's like, now people are like, don't talk to me before I've had my coffee. Like, if I had not meditated that day, baby, you know I didn't get on that
It's a
pillow.
problem. Yeah.
You'll know.
I haven't talked to God yet. Don't talk to me.
Yes, please. I haven't had my God yet, please. And praying to God, but also being like, God, bless me with wisdom. What does Solomon ask for? Wisdom. Bless me with clarity, and allow yourself to be open and receptive to what God has to say, even if it doesn't align with what you think God should say. That's the tricky part right there. Our supporting verse for this, James 1:5. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously. All the way, all the way, all the way. So with that, my friends, we have gone from root to crown. Let's do like a quick recap to bring it all together.
Okay.
So this is our framework. This is our framework for our friends, our listener, on how to bridge the firm belief that we can co-create with God with the idea of our chakras. So root chakra, stay grounded, trust God fully, and find your security in God. Sacral, create, use your creativity and your sensuality effectively. Our solar plexus, take confident, aligned action.
For the heart chakra, align your actions with love, capital L love, and compassion. For the throat chakra, clearly communicate and affirm your intentions. For the third eye, clarify your vision and trust your intuition. And lastly, for the crown chakra, open yourself up to receive divine guidance.
Yes. Do this. I promise. Just try it and watch how magical your life becomes. Like, it's not a one and done type of thing. So let's just throw that idea out with the bath water. That's not how it works. It's like faith. Your faith walk is never one and done. Try it. Focus on getting your inner landscape right, and just watch how quickly you're able to like see those things that you've spoken into existence, or see those things that you've been asking God for.
Yes, the external will match the internal. Like, I promise, I say that from personal testimony.
Yes.
Changing the internal, the external will change. And then you're literally able to receive and keep what you prayed for, because you have
You made space to hold it.
Yeah, you literally made space.
Friend, thank you. Thank you for co-creating this with me.
Thank you for inviting me. They can't see the little hearts and big hearts.
Heart to heart, heart to heart, heart to heart. See, wow, God has blessed you, and through you, God has blessed me, because you are such a blessing to me. So I thank you for your time. I thank you for the education and the edification. And I'm so excited for everyone to tune into next week's mini-sode, where I'm going to be doing a chakra meditation and affirmation practice.
Get into
it. To help us keep our system, get them and keep them balanced, like you said. Get it right and keep it right, so that we're all feeling good and we're just walking around here blessed,
Yes, I love that for everyone, including you.
Thank you, boo. Thank you. Friend, love you with love.
Love you too, sis. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. That's a wrap for this episode of Even in the Small Things. Thanks for kicking it with me. I hope you're feeling a little more connected and a lot more encouraged. Life's messy, but God's right there in the middle of it, helping us figure it all out. If you liked today's episode, go ahead and subscribe, comment, rate, and of course, share the episode. Until next time, keep it real, keep it light, and remember, God's in the details.